Good evening, everyone, and to all of you online, welcome. This is Swami Kriyananda's play, in case you all don't know, I imagine you do, The Jewel and the Lotus. And just to give you a little background information here, I directed this in India about 2 years ago for the 20th anniversary. So if you notice a lot of Indians tonight, that's partly why. And some of them are brand new in acting in this play, and then others have done it before. But because of dialect and possible language barriers, I thought what I would do is give you a little synopsis of the play so that those can follow along a lot easier. This is a story about a man who they call the storyteller. And he travels through the Himalayas, and he tells stories drawing inspiration and drawing others to Yogananda, to the master. And in a past incarnation, he actually was someone who destroyed the master's reputation and did everything he possibly could to hurt master. And at the end of his life, he realized what he had done, and he prayed to God to never let him forget the injustices that he laid on Yogananda. So this particular incarnation, he's traveling around and he's telling stories and inspiring others. And as many of you know, Master said when he passed that he would return in 200 years, which is not that far off. This auspicious night happens to be the night of Yogananda's Mahasamadhi. And the storyteller comes across a group of travelers, and one man in particular, who could be every man, is skeptical. And the storyteller feels the inspiration to stay and to help those who are in tune with him already to go even deeper, and then to help this man who is so skeptical to begin his spiritual journey. So we have a lot of different countries represented tonight. And as I said, some dialect variations. We have Sacramento, India, Uruguay, France, and I think that's it. So anyway, enjoy the evening.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Ramatama, Krishna Tishan, all this chanting and caterwauling. It's enough to drive a person mad.
Ah, to be mad with God.
Huh? Mad, that's what I say, yes. Mad, these people drive you. Come here, boy. Come, Kanta. It'll soon be getting dark. If we go any further to escape these maniacs in the village, we'll only be risking our lives, breaking trails where no civilized man ever trod before.
But dear, this is a well-trodden path. Our people often pass this way.
I spoke of civilized human beings. Would you call our villagers civilized when they can revel in such bedlam? A fine situation, this, when virgin wilderness can seem almost tame by comparison with our so-called civilization.
They're singing to God, dear. They're
Well.
singing to God, dear.
Well, if I were God, I'd feel merely annoyed at people spending so much time demanding my attention. Tell me, how would you have felt if Narayan here, as a little boy, had pestered you night and day with cries of, "Mama, Mama"? Exasperated, right? Well, believe you me, that's how God feels when people pester him with their howling. He's got more important things to do than listen all day to raucous cries of "Rama, Rama."
Like what, dear? Listening to you when you pray to him for money?
Why, what's wrong with that? At least it's prayer with some sense to it. Besides, there's something in it for him, too.
Yes,
He knows I donate money to the temple.
Yes, but dear...
Hard-earned money, mind you. My money.
But dear, you once told us you donated money only so that the priests would ask God to make you even richer.
Well, they get their percentage. Mark my words, employing people is the way to make honest men of them.
Your fellow merchants must derive great inspiration, dear, for your concern for other people's honesty.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, and I set them a good example of honesty too, mind you. A very good example. Within reason, of course. One must also be practical. I can safely say, though, that I'm as honest as any merchant in the bazaar. I work hard to make this a decent world to live in.
Our own little corner of it, at least.
So why shouldn't God listen to my prayers, eh? You want to know something? I'll bet he's grateful to me. Ha! All that money I give him.
Father, he already is all that money you give him. How can donating it to the temple make him any richer?
Don't be naive, boy. Listen, I'm older and a great deal wiser than you. Believe me, temples wouldn't exist if God didn't have a pretty sharp eye for profit. The divine merchant, that's how we, the wise, see him, giving only as good as he gets. Oh, he's too clever to be taken in by all this Rama, Rama business. Just look at it this way. What are all those empty-handed devotees giving him in terms of good, solid value? Rama, Tama, he's no fool, I tell you. He respects a good deal. Cash on the line.
Dearest, true devotees would never want to make deals with God.
The more fools they.
But the scriptures
The
say
scriptures. Haven't you heard that even the devil quotes the scriptures?
But the scriptures say that all God wants is our love.
My dear, don't go subverting the values of our fine ancient family in front of our son. Why do you think I've brought him up here? For the fun of it? Braving oncoming darkness and wild animals and maybe even getting lost for the fun of it? No. I've brought him here out of love for him and to protect him from those maniacs in the village on whom love for God seems to act as rice wine acts on more sober persons.
I'm sure you have the noblest of motivations, dear, but aren't you also just possibly afraid of losing a prospective junior partner in the business?
Well, that too. Well, of course that. How can Narayan best please God? Obviously, by living a decent, respectable life, working for me in my shop. Compare that to running around foolishly singing Rama, Tama, Krishna, Tishna.
Father, even you know that's not the chant.
Well. What of it? They're all the same. Besides, I need an accountant. No, I mean it. An honest one. That fellow I have in there now has been stealing me blind.
I thought you said employing a person was the way to make an honest man of them. But tell me, Father, how is taking a job in your shop going to help me do what I really want, which is to find God?
How is it going to help you? He asks how it's going to help him. Here I've been preaching lofty truths to you ever since we reached this God-forsaken wilderness, and you ask how working for me is going to help you find God. My dear boy, it's perfectly obvious. Didn't you yourself just say that God is the money that we spend? Well then, the more you have of money, the more you'll have of God. Simple. We better watch this boy more closely. He's been getting some strange ideas.
Father, God is in everything. Why limit him to money?
Because
Don't you?
Well, because the Bhagavad Gita says that God is especially manifested wherever there is the greatest beauty. And what could be more beautiful than money? Gold coins, their clinking sound always reminds me of temple bells.
To me, the most beautiful sound in this world is a group of devotees singing God's name.
Don't you think our boy may have worse notions than that, dear?
It's clear I'm outnumbered. I should hire a bodyguard to protect me from these unceasing aggressions. Look, boy, all I'm trying to do is to ensure your future happiness. Don't you understand? The time for seeking God is when you're old, financially secure, and have nothing better to do. Otherwise, you'll just be a wandering beggar, like that storyteller that's come lately to our village.
I have never seen him beg,
He's poor. Take it from me, he must beg.
but he tells the most wonderful stories.
And especially from the lives of the saints.
The saints of all religion, not of one religion only. My favorite are those where he tells of the love of great souls for God.
Ah, what beautiful stories those are.
Ah, Father, why did we have to leave the village tonight, of all nights?
There's a special ceremony tonight to commemorate the love expressed in all religions for God.
And we wanted to attend it.
What? And leave me at home to wonder what might become of you? Oh, I know all about it. That's exactly why I've brought you here. The ceremony hasn't exactly gone unadvertised. The chanting and the wailing has been increasing for days. You talk about the beauty of singing God's name? Tonight, the so-called singing has reached such a peak that it reminds me of a tribe of cats on a wall. And the ceremony isn't expected to start for another hour and a half. It's too much to expect a sane man to be around when that kicks off.
Father, can't we just accept that we have different taste?
Tastes? It's got nothing to do with taste. It's a matter of principle. If I must be frank, boy, I'm afraid of that storyteller corrupting you. That's why we've come here.
But-
Oh, there's witchcraft in the air tonight, I tell you. Why, I even saw old Gupta Saheb next door, the most conscientious miser in town, give a penny to a beggar. I don't like it. There's something very wrong. The old values are being shaken. And I blame it all on that storyteller. Nothing's been the same since he arrived.
But dear, surely you can't accuse him of corrupting anyone.
No? When he chants and sings and talks so sweetly that the customers leave our shops? And when the more weak-minded shopkeepers leave with him? Why, before you know it, the whole village will disintegrate. Rama, Tama, Krishna, Tishna. Ah, cats on a wall.
From now on, cats howling will always remind me of God. Thank you, Father.
In his gentle way, this boy's as hard-headed as I am. But tell me this, what if everyone followed the storyteller?
I can think of worse possibilities.
Now, dear, you know it's not likely. Besides, they say he walks alone.
No doubt. And leaving everything behind him in shambles. Such people usually have to get out of town fast and alone.
Not in shambles, Father.
And what else? The shops would be empty, while people roamed the streets, howling like, well, like a pack of wolves. And this latest craze he's brought us, this Yogananda fever, I call it.
Yogananda helped people to understand life's true goal, inner communion with God. In God, he said, the saints of all religions are one.
The storyteller loves Yogananda for that great master's love for God. Is that so bad?
Bad? Can you, my own son, seriously ask me such a question? Yogananda's whole life was based on a lie.
A lie?
Look at it this way. When you pay good, honest, hard-earned money for something, at least you see what you're getting. A shirt, maybe, or a brass bucket. But this Yogananda claimed that God is more real, get this, more real than a shirt or a bucket. I ask you, what incredible nonsense. You can't even see God. You can't feel him. Tell me, what color is he? Well, I mean, it's all right to talk about God vaguely, as some do, but this Yogananda really overdid it. He even put it in writing that everyone can see God. Why, it's bad enough that our sadhus say this sort of thing quietly, but to broadcast this nonsense to the whole world, why, it's enough to ruin India's good name.
The world has become more peaceful as a result of his teachings.
God is our Father, Mother, friend. May His love on all lives descend.
It's almost too late to find any flowers.
But we must find at least a few. How can we attend the ceremony empty-handed? The garland I made was so beautiful. If only our cow hadn't eaten it.
Well, the Bhagavad Gita says the Lord accepts even one flower, even a leaf, if it is offered with devotion.
Ramu, look who's here.
Romesh Babu, Didi, elder sister, what are you doing out in these woods? It will soon be getting dark.
Ramu, Gita, I brought my family here to escape the singing, and here you bring it to us.
But you can't be serious, Romesh Babu. This is such a joyous evening. It is the anniversary of Yogananda's Mahasamadhi when he left this world.
I thought it was meant as a sort of holiness inventory of all saints.
The ceremony is for all saints, yes, but the inspiration for this devotion was Paramhansa Yogananda's. That's why we are holding it on his anniversary. Sri Yogananda taught that in God all are equal. No one greater, no one any lesser.
He taught too that we should love the saints not for themselves but for their love for God. In this way, he said, we too may come to love God.
Have you heard? There is even a chance that Sri Yogananda may have returned to this world.
What, in a spaceship?
No. I mean reincarnated in another body.
To think of it.
May it be true.
The storytellers behind this somewhere all warrant it.
Indeed, yes. He also told us that Sri Yogananda promised that in his next life, He would live here in these very Himalayas.
Oh, is it possible? Maybe right here, in this very part, maybe even right up there on top of Lotus Mountain.
How my heart has grieved ever since the storyteller first told us about him, that we couldn't have lived when Yogananda lived. Our lives are so caught up in littleness. Ah, if only great saints lived in our midst. Yogananda promised to come back after 200 years. Did you know? The storyteller told us so.
Ah, infinite Lord, the songs that you sing, thrilling the night of Maya with your love. May we hear those sweet strains in the night in our own souls. May all the world stand still. Let not wind, nor rain, nor the sound of calling bird invade our silence. May your songs possess our hearts. May they steal like moonlight into the dark glades of our souls, bathing those restless shadows with your luminous peace.
Ramu, you, a respected candy maker.
No candy could taste so sweet as the Lord's name. Now that I have learned not only to sing it, but to hear it everywhere in all nature.
I must have a talk with that storyteller.
Listen, the bells in the village. Only an hour left until the ceremony begins.
We would better hurry or we won't find any flowers.
It's already after sundown.
God is our Father, Mother, friend.
Peace be with my friends.
Peace also to you, friend.
Ramu, come back. Why have you come up here, friend? Aren't you leading the service in the temple tonight?
Not tonight, friend. You have priests to fulfill that function. I am not a pujari.
Look, I have found some. The storyteller.
He says he won't be joining us in the temple tonight.
But why not? It is because of you that we are having this service.
Because of me, perhaps, but not for me. It is for your inspiration that it is being held. I have done my share in leading you to that inspiration.
But can't you at least join us? It would mean so much to everyone to have you there.
God will be there, friend. In your chants, in your meditation, during your inner communion, I would be merely an intruder.
Intruder, but it is through you that we have learned to love God.
It is through you that we have learned to love all saints.
It is through you that we have learned of Sri Paramhansa Yogananda.
It is through you that we have learnt the very meaning of life.
I am as grateful for these blessings as you are, but of what use is the door once it has been passed through? My life lies in solitude. The time has come for me to take to that path once again.
You don't mean that you are leaving us?
What did I tell you? Getting out before the roof collapses.
But how can we carry on if you leave us so soon?
The truth is in you, friend. Why seek it outside yourself? Even if you tried to, you'd never find it there.
What you say about the truth being in Gita here interests me. On the whole, I wouldn't call you hopelessly wrong. But still, I do recall one absolute whopper she once told in school years ago. Yeah, it was in history class.
Friend,
You see,
the truth is in you too.
oh, come now. Now, don't misunderstand me. I may dress things up a little bit occasionally to make them look, presentable. But everyone knows I'm honest. Still, well, I mean, we're friends here. Why exaggerate?
When I say the truth is in you, I mean you are the soul, the immortal Atman.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that God, the supreme truth, is in you.
Did you hear that, boy? From now on, you better listen to me.
He means God is in everyone, Father, in everything.
But the Bhagavad Gita says that God is especially manifested wherever there is the greatest beauty.
Why, that's exactly what I said to Narayan here. How like temple bells, I said to him, is the fairy clinking of gold coins.
To me, God's beauty is most perfectly manifested in his saints.
Excuse me. Please excuse me. Saints, you said? Beauty, you said? Am I right? Have I misquoted you? All right, now then, sir, I must tell you, you've left me a little confused. I mean, saints and beauty are two things one would naturally pair together. For one thing, most of the saints one sees these days have so much hair covering them, one can't really tell whether they're beautiful or not. And from what one can see, beauty isn't exactly the first word that springs to mind. Scarecrow's more like it.
It's clear you're yet to meet a real saint. But in any case, I was speaking more of spiritual beauty, of a radiance in the eyes, of a gentleness in the smile.
From his pictures, I think Sri Yogananda must have been the most beautiful human who ever lived.
Outwardly as well as inwardly.
But why bother with such people? Yogananda's been dead for 200 years, and that illustrates a point. Most of the saints one hears about are long gone. And even if they're alive and famous, the crowds swarm around so thickly one can't even get close enough to them to ask a normal, decent blessing. On an important cash sale, say. No. Running to the saints is in any case just a way of shirking responsibility.
No. The scriptures say that spending time with the saints is man's first responsibility.
No, sister, your husband is right. Too many people run to the saints to excuse their own spiritual laziness.
He agrees with me.
At one time in the ashram of Paramhansa Yogananda, there lived a disciple who joked all the time, laughed and played pranks, and generally acted more childish than childlike. The master one day reprimanded him for being so light-minded. The boy replied, "I know my weakness, master, and I want to overcome it. But how can I do so without your blessings?"
What a beautiful answer.
A true disciple.
The master replied, "But my blessings are there already. God's blessings are there. It is your blessings that are lacking." Faith, you see, must be consciously exercised. If it makes one passive, it isn't faith, it's only wishful thinking. The Christian Bible says, faith without works is dead. By works, it means the creative exercise of faith, inwardly as well as outwardly.
Oh, did you hear him, everyone? You all think me so ignorant when it comes to spiritual matters, and here your own teacher agrees with me, not with you. How do you like that, eh? I keep telling them that God is everywhere. So why, I say, give up good, honest business to find him?
Some of Yogananda's most advanced disciples were successful businessmen. He taught that the power of concentration, so necessary for success in business, is important also for deep meditation.
Did you hear that, boy? Stick with me if you want to find God.
Well, however those disciples have found God, I'm sure it wasn't meditating on money.
And why not? I keep telling him that God is in money too. He just doesn't understand.
God is everywhere. Still, we must first realize him before we can see him everywhere.
A mere quibble. I realize him in money.
We must realize him first in the self.
True. It is within myself I realize that what I like is money. This man speaks like the very angels.
But he hasn't said one should take up a business to find God. He only told us that whoever we are, God can come to us if we devote our present abilities to seeking him.
Well, one must expect minor differences even among the wise. But on the main, we are agreed, this wise storyteller and I. We both say that God can be found in business. The method is secondary. Friend, why are you leaving the village at this late hour? Come, stay the night at our house. Leave by daylight if you must. Otherwise, you might miss your path.
Thank you for your kindness, friend. But many long months I have walked these mountains alone. Their darkness and their solitude hold no more terrors for me. As for paths, I hold to none. What I am seeking will be found far from man-made trails.
But we know these parts at least. If what you are looking for is anywhere around here, perhaps we can help you find it.
Thank you, friend. But my quest is a private one. I must pursue it alone.
You have often spoken to us of going on alone. I too sometimes feel drawn to such a path. Yet, in your talk in the village, you have also stressed man's need for the company of saints. How can the value of solitude be reconciled with this need to depend on others?
A bedridden patient needs a doctor not for something else to depend on besides his bed, but because the doctor can help him get back on his own feet.
I see. Then the company of saints is helpful only until one has learned to walk alone.
Yes and no. The more you go within, the more you find their blessings inside yourself. Thus, of course, you depend less and less on their outward company. Still, however, you keep their company always in your heart.
But which is more important, to keep the company of saints or to keep the company of God?
Of God, surely. But please ask yourself, do you know God?
No.
How then can you keep his company? Don't you see? By concentrating on the saints who do know him, you attract their state of consciousness. Still, of course, it is God alone you should seek, even in their company. To want anything less from them is like digging for granite in a gold mine.
There is a point that sometimes puzzles me. God, they say, is everywhere. In a way, then it seems we should seek him everywhere. In every flower, in every tree, in every wayside shrine. And yet, God is also one. From that standpoint, should we see only him and not love him through his manifestations? Which is the better path?
Both ways are good if it is the one God you are seeking. The most important thing for the devotee is to be freed from delusion. And what is delusion if not attachment to that which is not? The Lord hides behind his creation. Nature is real only in that it expresses him. Yet nature is our natural focus of awareness. It is easier to imagine God through the forms we know than to deny them altogether. Granting this fact, it is better to concentrate on the saints than on inanimate objects. They at least are conscious of the dreamer behind the dream. It is good to meditate on the lives of the saints, but it is better to follow the guidance of only one of them. To leave a building, does one require many doors? That is one reason the scriptures stress on the need for a guru, a personal guide to the infinite.
Is that why you speak so much about Paramhansa Yogananda? I've wondered. I assume the saints all own stock, so to speak, in the same enterprise. It isn't possible for any of them to corner the market, is it?
Not this market. It is too big for any corner to hold it. But I myself have found the guide I was seeking in Sri Yogananda. I speak of him as one would refer to a mountain if he wanted to illustrate the principle of height. One needn't use many mountains to illustrate the same principle.
Yogananda was tall then, eh?
Not physically, yet spiritually speaking, he was a giant. Though I speak of him especially, I emphasize his teaching that other free souls, messengers from God into the dark prison of this world, have been fully as great as he. That is why his anniversary celebration this evening is dedicated to all saints. There is no rivalry in God. Yet, I love Sri Yogananda. His life was such a perfect balance of mystical vision and practicality, and his message, more than that of most spiritual teachers, was to the whole world. My love for him is far more than personal. To me, he epitomizes the greatness of all saints and the potential greatness of all men.
I'm finding it a bit difficult to visualize a spiritual giant. Might you please tell us a little more about him by way of illustration?
Oh, please do.
But I may yet have far to walk this evening, and you all have a ceremony to go to. Just think of how many stories I've told you already.
But Ramesh hasn't heard them.
And would it be fair to leave even one humble seeker uninstructed?
Gita's right. Humility is the one quality I've always been most proud of. Whenever I see someone poorer than myself, and that's everyone in our village, I assure you, I think, there, but for the grace of God and a little skill on my part, go I. Please, stay a while. We have something in common, you and I, and I'd like to understand this spiritual giant of yours a little better, since you respect him so deeply.
Oh, please stay a while.
Very well. I shall stay just a little bit longer. No time is wasted, certainly, that is spent in talking of Paramhansa Yogananda. Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Bimalam Achalam Sarvade Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadguru Tvam Namami. My Guru, bearing the bliss of Brahma, happiness supreme, wearing the image of wisdom, beyond all qualities, free as the soaring sky, knower of all there is to be known, thou perennial, taintless one, witness of all happenings, beyond boundaries, conceptions, uncolored by good, bad, and active qualities, my ever-awake preceptor, I bow to thee. People make a grave mistake when they think of a true guru as an ordinary man, wiser than they perhaps, but otherwise limited in time and space, even as they are. Indeed, they even err when they think him separate from themselves. For a true guru, having realized his oneness with God, resides always in devotees' hearts. He comes to this world not to show people how different he is from them, but to inspire them with a sense of their own divinity. The guru plays a strangely dual role. On the one hand, he lives as a man among men, laughing, eating, joking with them, as well as teaching them, encouraging them, in other words, to see their own humanity not as a barrier, but as a bridge to divine attainments. On the other hand, he carefully reminds his disciples, and more, so the more they advance spiritually, that neither he nor they are this physical body, that in essence, they are the eternal spirit. Yogananda used often to say, I killed Yogananda long ago. No one dwells in this temple now but God. A disciple once praised him for his humility. How can there be humility, the master inquired, when there is no consciousness of ego? One of the saddest mistakes people make is to compare the saints in an effort to prove their own guru or their own patron saints the greatest. What a travesty of the truth that all truly wise men have taught, that God is the sole reality. A master has merged his ego consciousness in that infinite realization. One should meditate on the lives of the masters not to increase one's consciousness of sectarian differences, but to demolish them. In this way, I invite you to consider the life of Paramhansa Yogananda. Truly a star of the first magnitude in the heavens of history.
I've always thought these holy men wanted everyone to know how holy they were. I confess we merchants have no objection to letting others, well, a few others, know how rich we are.
To the saints, such considerations are meaningless. Long, in fact, before Sri Yogananda came to this world in that beloved form of his, he had attained final freedom from the meshes of ego. No karma of his own brought him back, but only the purest compassion for suffering humanity. He was what is known in the scriptures as an avatar, a divine incarnation, fulfilling an ancient promise to return again and again to this world, as long as, to quote him, one stray brother was left crying by the wayside.
Such compassion is inconceivable.
I'm beginning to see now what you meant by spiritual giant.
It was Sri Yogananda's role to awaken people in a culture where God communion had been all but forgotten. Seeing his life in retrospect, one is amazed at his accomplishment. He took mere spiritual children, as it were, and brought them all the way to divine maturity. No other master, to my knowledge, has worked so earnestly with so many different levels of disciples, nor brought so many in one lifetime to God. Many of his disciples reached liberation in that lifetime. Many others found God, even among those who came to him after he had left this world. To meditate on the episodes of his human life is to be inspired with the divine power that he radiated. To meditate on his childhood search for God is to be inspired with intense devotion. To meditate on his adolescence is to be inspired to renounce selfish ambition and to live only to serve God in everyone. To meditate on the early years of his ministry in the West is to be filled with the great Guru's joy and energy. To meditate on his later years is to be filled with compassion, dispassion, and wisdom. Love and joy were the chief qualities manifested in his life. Even his childhood pranks ring with the silent laughter of God.
Oh, did he play pranks too?
Indeed, he did. And why not? Is not God also a God of joy?
Oh, I wonder what he would have thought of my Charu when he was little for throwing water from the roof on a pompous neighbor. Disgraceful child.
Yogananda ji did much the same thing as a child, only it was dry cow dung on a drunken policeman.
So, you may have a saint in that delinquent monster of yours yet. It pains me to have to remind you that this so-called pompous neighbor of yours on that inauspicious occasion was my humble self.
Oh, I had completely forgotten. Please forgive me, Ramesh Babu.
All right. Only, I hope this saint of yours had his more sober moments.
Even his childish pranks had a deeper purpose, often to instill needed lessons in people who were hard-hearted or perhaps too sure of themselves.
Pompous.
But he never acted except with divine love, even when he reprimanded his disciples. How could he do otherwise when he saw all beings as his own self?
All beings, even animals?
Indeed, yes. Would you like to hear how his love once conquered a wild and hungry tiger?
Yes, please do tell us.
Very well. Well, if I'm to tell you all a story, perhaps you'd all gather round a little bit closer. Ramu, come, sit here. Narayan, let's all be comfortable.
How did he conquer the tiger? Was it with a magic mantra? I know great yogis possess such powers.
No, sister. His was the power of pure love. Once, in the company of a group of youngsters, he hired a driver with a cart pulled by a pair of cows. At the driver's suggestion, they traveled deep into the heart of a nearby jungle. Unknown to the master, this part of the jungle was the haunt of large and ferocious tigers. As darkness was falling, they found an abandoned hut. Next to it was a stall for the cows. Leaving the driver to put the cows away, Sri Yoganandaji and the boys entered the hut, and soon they were joined by the driver. Darkness crept in those deep jungle lanes, stealthily like a thief. The day, suddenly timid and afraid, fled for protection towards the vanished sun. The pleasant sounds of sun-loving birds and beasts gave way to the strange and lonely sounds of nocturnal creatures. To these sounds soon were added the terrifying roars of tigers as they hungrily sought the jungle byways. About an hour passed. Then the occupants of the hut heard a rustling and growling nearby. They looked out a window. The moonlight in the clearing was just bright enough for them to see a huge Royal Bengal tiger slowly approaching, its tail twitching with anticipation. That tiger is going after our cows, stammered the driver, his teeth chattering with fear. Prudently, he had already placed the others between himself and the door. Sri Yogananda asked, "Didn't you close the stall door?" The foolish man had forgotten. If the cows were eaten, they might never get home again. Sri Yogananda asked if anyone was willing to accompany him as he went out to close the stall door. Well, you can imagine the general stampede to join him. Finding no volunteers, he went out alone. For his protection, he took a lantern. However, as soon as he stepped outside the hut, a gust of wind came and extinguished the flame. No time remained to relight it. Alone into the darkness he went. The tiger, seeing this intruder step between it and the cows, now shifted its concentration from them to the master. A cruel smile played on the killer's face. A hungry gleam shone in its eyes. Sri Yoganandaji looked at it. No thought of fear crossed his mind. With divine love in his heart, he held on to the thought that it was God he was seeing in the form of that tiger. The killer slowly approached. The power of love flowed to it from the master's eyes. Suddenly, what a miracle! The beast, instead of springing, rolled affectionately at the master's feet. Love had conquered it. Its huge tongue lolled out as it yawned a few times. After a while, it got up and peacefully walked back into the jungle. The stall door was closed. You may be sure when Sri Yoganandaji returned to the hut, he scolded the driver for bringing them all to such a dangerous place. But cows and people equally spent the remainder of the night in uninterrupted peace.
Would that I might have even been that tiger, having just met Sri Yogananda and felt the divine love flowing from his lotus eyes?
How much better to be a real tiger made that way by God than to be a human tiger preying viciously on the lives of others.
Such tigers must be much more difficult to transform.
And how much greater surely the miracle that does transform them. Sri Yogananda must have met and changed many such people.
Oh, many, many. Some even tried to harm him. But on them, what a sweet revenge he had. Did I ever tell you the time when a gunman was sent to kill him in New York?
No.
It was after a lecture at the Carnegie Hall, during the course of which he had exposed certain powerful, wealthy men who were exploiting the poor. America was in the depths of a depression. Exploitation of the poor in those times meant virtually their ruin. The gunman came up behind Sri Yogananda in a darkened street. Pressing a pistol into his back, he said,
Why did you talk like that about those people?
All men are God's children. He loves them equally. How can you expect him to be pleased when his rich children take advantage of his poor ones?
Can you imagine speaking like that to someone who has been paid to shoot you? The master then, with all forgiving love in his eyes, looked at the gunman.
Why do you live the way you do? You aren't happy. It is time that you changed. I demand that Satan come out of you.
What are you doing to me? I was supposed to kill you. I can't. And I can't go back to that way of living anymore.
His life was completely changed. Is it any wonder that the scriptures say, Shannamapi sajana sangati rekha bhavati bhavarnavetarane nauka. One moment in the company of a saint will be a raft over the ocean of delusion.
How strange that anyone would want to harm such a man of God.
But aren't good and evil always at war?
And wherever anyone is supremely good, the resistance of evil people is that much greater. Just look at the lives of all men and women of God.
How those who heard Sri Yogananda must have suffered, knowing that he loved them so deeply.
I know of at least one who did.
Won't you tell us more?
He was one of the worst whose paths ever crossed that of the Blessed Master. He tried everything he could to interfere with the spread of the Guru's work. Like a tiger raging on the outskirts of a jungle village, he prowled in ceaseless search of human prey. Like the fire of cruelty in the yellow eyes of a wolf, there burned in his appeaseless heart the flames of envy and hatred. He told lies about the Master, spread false, slanderous tales about his work, tried as often as he could to turn followers away from the path.
Yet you say he suffered. Why then did he continue to do those things?
Ah, my friend, the dewdrop, afraid of being drawn into the sun, slips trembling for shelter into the heart of a lotus. Even so, this man, fearing the magnetic power of Sri Yogananda's love, sought shelter in hatred. His deeds bore ample testimony to the perfection of that hatred.
Yet the Master loved him.
Only a few days before Sri Yogananda's departure from this earth, he saw this man once again. With the sweetest compassion shining in his eyes, he looked at his old offender, smiled gently, and said, "Remember, I will always love you." At last, at long last, what change was wrought at last by those few simple words? Breaking through at one point through the rock fortress of this soul's resistance, divine love soon destroyed every rampart. Years it had taken to resist. The defeat once started required only days. O blessed sorrow, O dearest pain, what tears of repentance racked that conquered heart. Gone was all the hatred, divine love took its place. That man, now changed, prepared to go to him, whom he now considered his guru, and cast himself at the Great One's feet. What high things he would promise! What greater things he would do to right past wrongs! How he would beg for forgiveness, knowing that he had it already, yet hardly daring to believe. It was as he was preparing to go to the great master that the news reached him. Paramhansa Yogananda had just passed away from this earth. Need I describe that man's grief? With his heart so lately changed, but never an opportunity to show its new character. That man, so lately evil, now made a sacred vow. As he had spread lies about the great master, so now he would spread truth. As he had dissuaded people away from the path, so now he would work to win them back to it. As he had labored to thwart all of his guru's efforts, so now he would dedicate his every remaining minute to serving the cause that the great master had brought. That man served for the remainder of his life humbly, in obscurity, through countless little ways, since he considered himself unworthy of doing greater things, to compensate for all the wrongs that he had done.
What a beautiful story.
It would take a great love to win such a heart.
May divine love perfect the conquests of all hearts. For how many times all of us have offended God, sometimes through some act of selfishness, or through fleeting pride, or anger, or even doubt. Would that we could work as hard to right our sins as that man did to right his?
You seem to have such a clear understanding about that man's life and character.
Understanding is born of experience.
But surely you weren't as evil as that man.
No, perhaps not in this lifetime.
But can you remember the past? You're speaking in riddles.
One's past lives may not always be consciously remembered. His past experiences remain with him, however, at least subconsciously, and throw light on the present. Thus, the past often gives a person his present level of understanding.
Then you don't actually know that you were ever as evil as that man. Couldn't your understanding just as easily be rooted in compassion?
And whence comes compassion, think you? Let me finish the story I was telling you about. One day, shortly before passing, this reformed sinner sat in meditation and prayed to God in the form of his guru. Master, he said, I know I'm not worthy of salvation, nor even of your smallest grace. Yet I have this one humble request to make of you, which you in your love may see fit to grant me. Grant me the power to never forget my countless wrongs to your sacred self. God usually hides our past lives from us, so we shan't be discouraged by old mistakes and failures. This man's prayer, however, was strangely granted. After death and in succeeding lives, he always remembered that one life of supreme injustice. Though it brought him pain, it also kept burning within him the resolution to serving his Guru's cause. And what happiness has come in that service, I ought to know.
Are you saying that
That
you...
man was myself.
Yourself?
What a strange path you have walked, led first by hatred and then by love. Would that all men would shun the hatred and embrace as great a love.
Darkness lends attractiveness to light. It is often through the painful results of sin or ignorance that men often grow to learn virtue.
Friend, when you first came up here, you said you were seeking something. Won't you tell us what it is? Are you maybe seeking him?
Oh, please do. You have told us that he will be back. Have you any proof that he is?
Why else would you be wandering in these lonely mountains when your life is dedicated to his service?
3 years ago, this very night, I was attending a ceremony in commemoration of Sri Yogananda's Mahasamadhi. The temple, lit only by dimly glowing candles, was vibrant with the joy of his spiritual presence. As I reverently laid a flower before his image, I was overcome by a divine ecstasy. A wondrous vision shone before me. No statue stood there. Instead, I saw my Guru. Around him were a group of devotees. On all sides of them were steep, snow-covered slopes suggestive of a mountain. The master and disciples were seated on the ground, chanting. After some time, he looked straight in my direction. The same smile of compassion softened his face that had touched it that day so many, many years ago. Come, he said. We are waiting for you. The vision then began to recede. I saw then the mountain on which those devotees of God were seated, and I knew that I should recognize it again. For 3 years now, I have been searching. Nothing, not cold, nor rain, nor darkness has slowed my loving search.
Have you found any clues to his whereabouts?
None yet, but I shall. Love shall lead me to my destination.
Maybe we can help you. What did the mountain look like?
Who can describe a mountain?
But maybe you could just give us some general idea.
Perhaps I could. The top was broken into several small peaks or hillocks. In the center, there was a depression. The mountain top made me think, if anything, of an open flower, like those paintings one sees of a lotus.
Lotus Mountain!
The very one we are sitting on.
This one? What makes you think so?
In these parts, it is called Lotus Mountain because of its shape. Its top looks something like what you described.
Ah, can it be?
Oh, it must be surely. What more auspicious night for you to find it than this very one, the night of his Mahasamadhi.
What a beautiful ending to your arduous search.
I am so deeply happy for you.
Love has guided us all. It has joined our paths with yours. Otherwise, you would have walked on into the night and wandered yet for who knows how many years and months. And we, while living in the shadow of this very peak, may never have known that on Lotus Mountain lives the jewel of our desires.
May you be right.
When day comes again, you will see with certainty.
Listen, the temple bells. Only 15 minutes until the ceremony begins. We shall have to hurry now to get there on time.
I suppose we ought to go, but how reluctant I am to leave this spot, thinking that perhaps here at least I am closer to him who I would now accept with all my heart as my Guru. These flowers were picked to be laid before his mere image. How I would love to lay them before his living form.
It is late, and at least the image is a certainty. We'd better go.
Cannot we persuade you to come back with us for one more night?
No, friend. Solitude is my brother. Meet me, however, tomorrow at dawn. Tomorrow we shall see what promise this mountain holds.
Tomorrow.
Listen!
What it is? The bells have stopped ringing.
No, not the temple bells. Listen! Don't you hear voices singing high up the mountain, way up there?
I do hear voices.
I hear them too.
They are singing the same chant I heard in my vision 3 years ago this night.
Yogananda is up there.
What shall we do?
These flowers were picked for his image, but they were for him. Let us go tonight.
The way is dangerous, even by the daylight. Our people never go up there.
They have no reason to go. A longing to see our Guru is of sufficient reason.
I know a part of the way. The moon will show us a part of the way, and our love will take us the rest of the way.
Our love will be a better lantern than the sun.
And God will give us all the strength we need.
Will you come with us, brother?
You see, my Guru Bhai, my brother, this is a very sudden change for me. I do believe in the Master now. I believe he's up there. I hardly know myself anymore. Please don't ask me to leap into an abyss. I may go up there later on, when I've grown more accustomed to these strange developments. Tonight I will go to the temple. I confess I feel a little safer with images. They may look at one reproachfully, but at least they won't say anything.
Then, Didi, you will stay with him, I suppose?
I am his wife. We go together. But perhaps in time we can both join you. In the meantime, what joy is my lot. I came here in bondage, afraid to do more than whisper my love for God. I leave now, fortunate among women, with a husband who loves God and shares my deepest dreams. What more could I ask of life?
Narayan?
All my life, Father, I have longed to find God. He may be in money too, as you say, but the storyteller tells us he can be found most quickly through a guru. Would you mind terribly if you lost your prospective junior partner? I want to join them, Father. Life has no other meaning for me anymore. May I have your permission to go?
Go, my son. Would that I were as free in my choice as you are. Come, we must hurry. It is only a few minutes until the ceremony begins. How can I thank you, friend? You have changed my life. My heart was like a stone, and now it is like a flowing fountain. May peace be ever yours.
Friend, aren't you coming with us?
I will come. But please forgive me. I would rather come alone.
But we know these parts better than you do.
Love has guided me thus far. It shall lead me to my destination.
Be it as you wish. We'll meet again, dear friend, at the Master's feet.
Alone you spoke to me then. Alone I want to meet you now. My long exile has ended. You have called me to sit with those other blessed ones who love you. What can I tell you to express my gratitude? There are no angels singing from the clouds tonight, no galaxies of saints to brighten my private celebration. The world's as plain and humble as it was this morning. But what angelic joy sings in my heart. Even the stars are dancing, and the trees like saints wave in blessing and nod with shining sympathy. My heart is too full. What words can it utter? Only silence can express the joy I feel.
Brother, the Master has sent for you. Please come with me.
I am coming. But what about those others who have gone seeking him?
They too will reach the Master tonight, but come, I know a shorter way. We shall reach him first.
I am coming. Oh, what shall I say when I meet my Guru? Can my heart contain its joy? I shall say to him, deeply looking into his eyes, I love you always.
Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. If you want to cross the ocean of delusion, if you want to cross the ocean of delusion, shaming the white lotus in purity, shaming the white lotus in purity, beyond all duality, Guru, image of Brahma, deliver us from delusion. Guru, image of Brahma, deliver us from delusion. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru.
The joy of God which is given to one by the Guru, and O Guru, giver of this joy, I bow to you. The lotus on the water in a wind becomes very restless, and even so the mind on the waters of this world is restless. But one moment in the company of a saint can be your raft over the ocean of delusion. So the words, one of the wonderful things about these Indian songs is the subtlety, the depth, the wonderful poetry of them.
Anandam Anandakaram Prashannam Jnana Swarupam Nijabodarupam Anandam Anandakaram Prashannam Jnana Swarupam Nijabodarupam Yogindra Midyam Bhavaroga Bhavaroga Vaidhyam Srimad Guru Tvam Maham Namami. Kalini Dalagata Chalamataram Tadvat Jivanam Matishaya Chapalanam Chalamataram Tadvat Jivanam Matishaya Chapalanam Jannamapi Sajjana Sangati Rekha Bhavati Bhavanava Taram Dukam Jannamapi Sajjana Sangati Rekha Bhavati Bhavanava Taram Dukam Ananda Karam Prashanam Jnana Swarupam Nija Bodharupam Ananda Karam Jnana Swarupam Nija Bodharupam Yogindra Nityam Bhavaroga Vaidhyam Srimad Guru Yogindra Nityam Bhavaroga Vaidhyam Srimad Guru Harini Nalagata Tadvat Jivanam Atishaya Chapalam Nalini Dalagata Kalamati Taralam Tadvat Jivanam Atishaya Chapalam Jannamapi Sajjana Sangati Rekha Bhavati Bhavanavataram Jannamapi Sajjana Sangati Rekha Bhavati Bhavanavataram
Just want to introduce some of these very dedicated, amazing souls up here and where they're from. This is Aditya from Ananda, India and Pune. This is Anil from Sacramento. Urmala from Pune. Mirabai from Mumbai, Pune. Ananda, France. This is Dharmananda. Ananda Village, Prasad. Over here, I can't get everybody, you know. So over here we've got Yogananda. Ananda Pune, Govinda. And then we've got Sudipta from Sacramento and Tushar from Pune. And of course, Jivan from Sacramento, and Saganesh from Palo Alto. So, we hope you will enjoy this evening, and thank you for coming, and God bless you. And if you'd like to come up and say hello to the actors, feel free.
Thank you to all of our donors for making it possible to share these videos and keep this channel ad-free. If you feel inspired to donate, visit ananda.org/give.